I'm Rocio. I'm here reporting for London for Justice News, and I'm in front of Orozco School. And today is November 20th, 2010, and we're here for the Teachers Curriculum Fair. And right now we're about to go interview some teachers right now.
Sure. I'm part of Teachers for Social Justice. We're the organization that puts on the curriculum fair. This is our 10th annual Teaching for Social Justice curriculum fair. And I've been with TSJ since the beginning. We're about 13 years old. And this is a space, this collective space, for people to share what they are trying to do in terms of teaching for social justice and trying to figure out what that means, and to learn from each other and make the road while walking together in this kind of collective space. And so
First of all, can you tell us what Teachers for Social Justice is?
Teachers for Social Justice is an organization of primarily educators in both elementary, high school, and college who believe that what they teach should be based in improving the world in the communities where they teach.
And what do you really mean by the world? Like, is it just your community, more out there, just in the States?
I think it's all of that, what you just said. It's both locally in your own community, so if there's injustices happening, like the power plant at Little Village, for example, that's polluting the air and making people have asthma, that would be something that you should learn about in your classes, how to deal with those problems and the science behind it. And then more globally, you could think about, like garbage, why are certain countries having to be the repositories for all the garbage that the United States creates? Or why we're 5% of the population, but we produce 25% of the garbage and take 25% of the resources? Those types of questions are questions that T4SJ, Social Justice, think you should learn about in the classroom.
Thank you.
I was here because I come every year. Last year I came to assist, and I always come to look for a new math curriculum, for things that would bring the world into the classroom, that allows the students to explore their world through the lessons we teach. So, as Rocio knows, and as she has a preview of that, in our current unit, we're going to be looking at mathematics of student loans, of credit card loans, of mortgage loans, of how a larger system, how the capitalistic nature of our country affects people, and how if they knew a little bit more information, if they knew a little bit more about how these systems worked, then maybe they could better counter them and suggest a different way so that the world could change, so that a new world is necessary, or a new world is possible, a new education is necessary, so that that theme could go through classes. And I come here to be re-energized and be reminded that there's important work that needs to be done.
Thank you. It is so good to be here and to see so many familiar faces and new faces. And understand this, social justice has a deep meaning. It has a deep meaning because the storm clouds are gathering. And those storm clouds come from people with lots and lots and lots of money and influence. And they despise social justice. They mock social justice. And they say that we are wasting time with social justice. That we should be teaching whatever they think we should teach. So what does this mean to us? What it means is that they have taken over the system. Mayor Daley has run this system since 1995. And yet, he complains, the powers that be complain about how bad our system is. But who has been in control of it? Does this make any sense?
No.
I'm serious. Does it make any sense?
No.
Okay. So if it doesn't make any sense, then why are they saying it over and over again? Why did Chicago Tribune come out and say that Ron Huberman needed to fire teachers out of seniority because they were bad teachers? And the Tribune picked this up and said it over and over and over again. Yet these first 200 teachers that got fired Only one received an unsatisfactory. Only one. How many of you knew that, just out of curiosity, if you just listen to the media? I see 2 hands of people who knew the truth. The Tribune put out another one. They put a correction in. When we wrote a letter saying to them, Ron Huberman is not liable for lying, but the Tribune is. So all of a sudden they found a way to make a correction. Now they say, we have to prevent teachers from striking legislatively. Why do you think they have that now? Our contract isn't due for 2 years. But now they're talking about we have to prevent a teacher strike. Why do you think they're starting this now? Because they know that the movement in Chicago is about putting our feet in the street. That the movement in Chicago is to change this fear that our teachers and paraprofessionals suffer under every day, and that rolls downhill to our kids, and change that fear into anger.
I'm a student from Whittier. This experience actually, it did change my life because now I know that the world is different. Maybe in us kids, our life is like kind of happy, play around, but outside, you have to learn. If you want to go somewhere, you're going to have to learn, read, do all this stuff. And all I want to say, I want to do a question to Solis and Huberman. How are we going to do that if you don't want us to have a library? Now, from the moms and from the community, you gotta step up. You gotta say what you believe in. Don't just back down. Oh, we do. You
Yes. I'm running for the 13th ward. I'm running for alderman in the 13th ward, which the boundaries pretty much go to 55th and Pulaski, 55th and Central Park to 55th and Cicero, all the way to 83rd. So I'm a candidate for 13th ward. I submitted my signatures the first day, which was last week, this past Monday. So I'm hoping to get on the ballot, but most importantly, I'm in it to win it in a way where we want to be able to provide services for young people living in the ward who have been pretty much ignored. There really is no community organization or a non-for-profit that caters to our young people in the 13th ward, so I want to be able to bring a lot of those resources there, which brings me here as well, because I want to be able to network with some of the organizations here and see what we can do to create some changes in the 13th ward, create changes in the way we look at our ward, and create changes in how our youth are viewed and making sure they start taking ownership of the places that they live, but also embracing their families, all to come together so they can represent the 13th ward.
And lastly, what is one of the things you want to do right away for your life?
One of the things that I want to do right away is really create this participatory democracy where we can have youth represent every single precinct that they're living in. Right, so we all have precinct captains, and usually a precinct captain tends to be older adults, those who want to volunteer, but we need a youthful voice because ultimately here we are a city that wants to cater to our youth. I want to be able to cater to my youth in the 13th ward, so also having them participate in precinct matters and have them represent the youthful voice from wherever precinct they're at. So that's something that I definitely want to implement, and it's all part of this participatory democracy where our precincts have a voice in the bigger picture in the 13th ward. So when it comes to city council meetings and try to push things into our neighborhood, I can pretty much say our community is what our community is voicing the concerns of what their needs are, what their wants are. So that's something that I hope to implement soon, and get a lot of our high schools and elementary schools involved in the community as well, so they can participate.
Well, thank you.
Thank you.
I'm Lucina Corey from Orozco News, and I'm here in front of Orozco. And we just finished the teacher circle fair, and so far we learned a lot of interesting stuff, and I think you can learn a lot about them. We got a lot of feedback, and that's about it.